how's everybody doing? It's Craig here again. Today is June the 30th. It's 8 o'clock at night, and it's still, it's hot. It says it's still 86 degrees, and it's like almost 80% humidity. We just had a rain shower roll through, and it is like super muggy tonight. But anyway, here's the LawnBoy engine. This is the one that had the major leak on. Remember, it was leaking around the clamshell. Also had the base plate was on. It was leaking around the exhaust a little bit. I had some issues with the intake, carburetor mounting to the intake reed block there. Since I've got it all tore apart, I didn't want to put none of that stuff back on. Bulky, that base plate, you know. So I just made a couple block off plates. And again, as you can see, I'll zoom in here a little bit. I'm still just using the duct tape to seal this off. This is just some 1/4-inch steel plate. That's all that was, strap plate. So this is set now for 48 hours. I was going to do it last night and just ran out of time, couldn't get to it. So now we're going to pressure vacuum test this to see if it's sealed up. I should have been ready, I wasn't. Grab my mini vac here. Just for everybody, this is just for information. I'm not endorsing, and I'm not telling you this is what you need, but this is what I use, the mini vac, MV8500. Kind of get down on here a little bit. I've made up a couple different things. I took an old compression tester, and this is what I've took the, this did not have a Schrader valve in it. This is what I use to pressure test my cylinders. I'll just run it down into the spark plug hole. This is made for 2 different size spark plugs. It's got the O-ring on it, so it seals up nice and good. Just remember, if you do it like this, you got to make sure your piston's at the bottom dead center of the stroke. So you open up the transfer ports to allow this pressure to vacuum to get down into the crankcase. If your piston's up and covering up them transfers, you'll never get to the crankcase like you need to be. Then I just made up a couple other ones. This is for testing carburetors right here. And this is another style that I use on saws. If everything's together and it's still in the chassis like my Husqvarna, I can actually plug the pulse line onto this, shove it up over there and test it like that. And then these are just a couple other extensions that I made up also. Of course, this kit comes with an array of different fittings, plugs and taper plugs and all kinds of things. That's why I bought this one. Again, I'm going off on a tangent here about this instead of getting to the real basis of this video. Okay, let's back you out a little bit here. Let me square that camera up. It's a little on the cockeyed side. There we go. That's probably a little bit better. Now you're not leaning to your side. The camera was kind of off center, tilted one way. So we're going to first we're going to do a vacuum test, or not a vacuum, but a pressure test. Again, I don't know if this has worked. You're going to be seeing this as I see it. So we're going to try to get it here so that you guys can watch this gauge. Get my hand off the release down here. Better set it on pressure. So here we go. We're building pressure. We're up to about 3 pounds right there. I'm going to run her up to about 10. There's 5. Turn this around a little bit so I can see it. There's about 8. There's just shy of 10 pounds. So I don't know what the specs are on this. I couldn't find them. But I'm basically going to use the same specs on this as what you do for a chainsaw. 3 pounds over 30 seconds. If it loses less than 3 pounds over 30 seconds, it's a pass. I would say we're probably coming up on about 15 seconds that it's not moved. Again, I'd say we've got to be close to 30 seconds right now. And it's still just a tad less than 10. So now I'm going to rock the crank back and forth to kind of simulate the rotation on the crank. Try to move it back and forth just a little bit. And again, it's holding right there just a smidge less than 10 pounds. So pressure-wise, I'm calling this a pass. So we'll release the pressure. Switch this over to vacuum. Now pull a vacuum on it. And again, I'm going to pull about 10 pounds. That's right on 10 pounds right there. So now we're going to do the same thing. 30 seconds. See if it leaks off over 30 seconds. Looks like it's still holding right where it was. We got to be close to 20 seconds by now. Still right there, right on 10 pounds. If it's not 30 seconds, it's close. It's not moved at all, so I'd call this a pass. Same as with the pressure, I'm going to rock the crank back and forth. Doesn't drop it. Crank in and out. Still right there on 10 pounds. So this is going to be a pass on this. So this is ready to be assembled and put back on. Okay. I'm not going to bore you guys with a lot of assembly work that's kind of straightforward stuff. So I'm not going to post just this little video by itself. So I will attach this to the next video I do of this, and that is basically doing the first start after sealing it back up. So we'll see you in the next video. Hey, how's everybody doing? It's Craig here again. As you can see, the LawnBoy is back together. I hate it, but it almost always happens. You do a project like this, you either come up with 1 bolt missing or 1 bolt extra, and you cannot find out where it goes. Today, we have 1 spring. I went to the IPL list, and where I thought it went was in the brake, in the engine brake, but it wasn't there. There is a spring in there that's about twice this size. The IPL does not show a spring this small anywhere. So I think what somebody has done, because that brake is just a little on the weak side, I think somebody has taken and put this in the inside of the other spring to give it more spring tension, so when they let off the handle, it's more of an instantaneous stop rather than kind of a lagging stop. So I'll put that back in here after a bit. I'm pretty sure that's where it goes. So we'll start. This is the LawnBoy. It's a Gold Series electric start, self-propelled. A little bit of the history on this. I purchased this LawnBoy with another LawnBoy, some string trimmers, and a couple leaf blowers last year. I can't remember the exact date, but I bought it as a lot from a person that mows commercially. Bought it all for $25. So I got it home, I let it set, I finally got into it here about a month ago. Got it running. All I had to do was clean the carburetor out a little bit, fix a couple broken wires, and got it running, and it seemed to run good until I went to idle it down. When I idled it down, it just didn't idle the way I thought it should. It wouldn't idle, sit there and idle at a low speed. It kept searching, acted like it was going to die if I took it down too low. So I knew right then there was an issue. These LawnBoys are known for having seal problems, especially the bottom seal, crank seal. They get any age on them, that seal's actually exposed to the exhaust gas, and they just dry up and they break. And so I took it apart, and that's what I found. I showed that on a previous video here, where the seal was actually bad. Went to get seals for my parts supply guy, said they's no longer available. Wound up finding them at a place I've used before called AVX Seals out of California. I used them for an old McCulloch Mac 3200. Go back a video or two, I've got their website and their address posted in that video. So I purchased some seals from them, installed them, and I don't know why, but I went on ahead and pressure tested it. I was sure it was going to pass. Lo and behold, on the last video or two, I pressure tested it and it did not hold. Found some major issues with it. Mainly being the clamshell wasn't sealed. It was just dumping air out around the clam. So I took it apart, clear apart, and resealed it. And once I got that done, re-pressure tested it in this last video that is actually going to be part of this video, and it passed with flying colors. So that was yesterday. So last night I spent most of the night putting it together, finished it off today. Today is actually July the 1st, 2020. Again, my fan's running. It's like 1 o'clock in the afternoon now, and it's like 91 degrees out. It's just terrible out. But anyway, I've got it all put together, ready to do the first start after having it all taken apart. So we'll put a little bit of gas in it. And again, I'm not ready here. Should have my gas can ready, but I didn't. Shake it up. That ought to be enough to get it started, I would think. I would hope so. Take a look to see how much is in it. Yeah, we got about a half a tank now. So now I'm going to open the fuel up to the carb. That way the carb can fill up. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to set it down on the floor, open up the barn door, reposition the camera, and we'll come back and I'll show you the first start. I'll be back. Okay, I'm going to give it a whirl here, see if she'll take off and go. Put a new primer bulb on it, cleaned the carburetor out, resealed the crankcase, put 2 new crank seals in it, fixed a couple broken wires, and put a new drive belt on it. So here we go. Okay. My pull cord won't go back in, so I gotta see what's wrong with it. And the bell to shut it off is backwards. I have to pull it down to stop it, or the contact's bad in it. So, but it did run, did seem to idle pretty decent, or what I call an idle. And so I think she's ready to go. I'll fix them two things, and this one's going to be for sale. Thanks for watching. Hope you all enjoyed.